Let's see if this is working. It's a black screen at the moment. Give it a couple more seconds. It should be working. I don't hear anything. Hello, hello, hello. It's loading. All right, I think it's working. We're here for another episode, our actual first episode of our MyGM series on WWE 2K25. I got interrupted yesterday, right in the middle of the draft, so I was like, I'll just do the draft, come back later, and get right into the action. And that's what we're here to do in this video. I don't know how long we'll be going for. I'm going to aim for at least an hour, which you'll know before me, because you'll see the time at the corner. One thing I will say, when I clicked into the game, and one thing I noticed, is I have the most money out of all of my competitors, which should be a good thing. But time will tell there. I know that we need to accomplish a lot of things. If you did not see the draft, here is our roster, and I already have planned several. I have everybody planned to do something. Now, everything, I think a saying that we'll need to be using around here is card subject to change. So, men's division wise, we're planning on doing CM Punk and Aleister Black, Sami Zayn and Oba Femi, Kevin Owens and Jacob Fatu, Motor City Machine Guns, Chad Gable and Pete Dunne. I've had 24 hours to come up with a good tag team day for them, and completely ignored myself, and maybe that'll be a work in process. Io, Sky, Isla Dawn, Asuka and Julia, Lyra Valkyria, and Natalya. Now, the other thing is that two of the power cards that we have benefit us signing people, because with this one, I can sign somebody on the cheap, and then boom, they get 10 weeks added to their contract. And then this one is kind of the same thing, but I think I need to sign them for longer. All right. Select a contracted superstar on your brand to be busy for 2 weeks. Then when they return. So with this card, and I don't really want to risk it, I don't know if I signed somebody literally for a week, let's say, and then it won't count because they have to be away for 2 weeks. So they would be away that initial week and then the week after. I don't know if that'll be like they'll null and void that and they'll be gone. I don't want to risk it and try, even though hypothetically speaking, I could do that on the first one, but not even want to risk it. Not even want to be a cheap ass. I'll decide them for the 2 weeks when time will tell. So I will say I know. This is one thing. I've not looked. This is one thing that is important. I've not even looked at these challenges. Book 5 shows with 12 or more superstars. I should do that very easily. Make 3 superstars very happy. I think I should be able to do that easily. I don't really know. Book 10 shows with a perfect drama curve. I think I could do that easily, but then sometimes they be like, no, you didn't. So this one's opinionated. This one's also opinionated, so that's why it's so difficult. Book 10 shows with training promos. I very rarely, if ever, do that, so I doubt that will happen. Now, realistically speaking, I could do both of these, and then boom, it gets it done, but I doubt it. Fulfill 5 promises to superstars. So each time that I'm in a season of this, I normally am at right at 5, and then I'm like, I'm certain I can do. And it's important to get the 5 because that's what gets you the trophy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one's a 7. I don't really like doing the run-ins, but who knows? Ensure that your least popular cruiser is a match this week. I'll tell y'all this. This is another thing from personal experience. These other rosters never sign anybody. So I had one time I had 5 of these power cards because I could never use it because the companies never signed anybody. So what also needs to be done is we need to turn Aleister Black into a into a bruiser and a heel, or just a heel and turn Punk into a bruiser, which we have a lot of fighters on the roster already, so maybe that's what needs to be done. I'll also say CM Punk is probably in our first main event. It would be fitting to have the WWE Champion in our first main event. So I think we'll start off by having Alistair turn heel tonight. That way we go ahead and get that done. So we need a role change there. Sammy, we need to turn into a specialist. So I think what we're going to actually do is something a bit weird. I know. We might do a Fatal 4-Way with Sammy. That way he's in the ring with a bunch of other competitors, and him being the only, like him being a cruiser, not matching up with anybody wouldn't matter as much. This is the other thing I need to look at. I don't have enough assets to purchase any of this stuff yet. So this would actually be a good week to go out and sign somebody that could potentially feud with somebody else. And then, we could use those power cards and then save the money. And then once we get the actually, no, I still don't have enough assets for any of these things yet. So you got to wait a week. You got to grind, as they would say. So I did say CM Punk will be on our main event. Against who, I don't know yet. I also said I'm having him feud with Alistair. So I don't want to risk Punk defending the title in the main event, and then I have Alistair run in and it costs Punk the title, and then they're not even fighting for the title. And in this hypothetical scenario, I don't even know who I'm putting Punk against yet. So I don't, This is the hard part when you're trying to start everything and you got so many obstacles to overcome. EO, we also need to turn to a specialist. The one thing that is for certain, and I could go ahead and start, is Julia and Asuka feuding together. So I think what we're going to actually do is up here. We're going to do a fatal 4-way. EO, all right. Natalya versus Lyra versus Isla Dawn versus EO. And hopefully, if they want to spin off and do Natalya versus any of those people, so the only issue would be EO and Lyra, because I don't want to turn either of them heel, where I'm okay with doing that with Natalya. But I need to turn EO into a specialist at some point, so you understand the situation at hand here. So I think this is a okay first matchup. Or down here, we can do Asuka and Julia. Now, if I go ahead and book a tag team title match with Motor City Machine Guns versus Gable and, who did I say, Pete Dunne? We can go ahead and do that. Boom. And then up here, I want Punk in the match. I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to go ahead and talent scout. Tyrus Halliburton, shout out him. I don't know. Worst case scenario, I think we could have him just do promo. So we're going to sign him for 10 weeks. Now, I want somewhat of a big... I don't think we need to go for a legend yet. We'll go here. Big E. We're getting only women. Not a good first search week. Okay. How many of these women could help us? I did want to draft Jordan Grace, but I don't know of anybody, like, off the top of my head that I could put her against. So worst case scenario, Tyrese, you're doing a charity promo. Boom. All right. Now over here, who is somebody I could put Jordan Grace against and it'd be okay? Maybe Natalya. Maybe Natalya. I think what we're actually going to do is I have a good thing in mind. All right. We're going to sign Jordan Grace on a 3-week deal, correct? we'll use her for this week and then do the other 2 weeks. She is a bruiser at the moment. Now, I also see the issue that is coming to mind. All right, let's think. If I saw Jordan Grace, I would have put her against Natalya in a rivalry. So then I need to counter and find somebody for Lyra to feud with, which Tatum Paxley would be a choice, even though they're friends and weekly appear on NXT together. And they're also both fighters, so it kind of screws up that. I also did forget about Isla Dawn. So, in my mind, what I'm getting together is Jordan Grace and Natalya. Still need to turn Natalya heel the next week. Lyra and Isla Dawn. Julia and Asuka, which also kind of leaves Io by herself. So we need to find somebody for Io to be feuding with out of these women. Which Alexa Bliss is a good choice in that. So I think we're about to go crazy. We're going to sign Jordan Grace on this 3-week deal. Okay, boom. How long do we need to sign Alexa Bliss for is the main question. She is also a cruiser, which I think makes us need to have her go against Io as a specialist. Now, the thing that came to my mind right now, though, is crowning a women's U.S. champion with Natalya. We'll do a 4-way. Actually, I'm countering it because the initial thought process is Asuka versus Julia versus Io. Boom. And then down here, women's U.S. title 4-way with Jordan Grace, Natalya, Lyra, and Isla Dawn. Boom. Now, again, the thing is, do we sign Alexa Bliss or not? Who here would give Io? I think Alexa Bliss would. The other thing is I didn't want to use all the power cards right away. Where right now, next week, I'll be using this one up. Do I use this for Alexa? Set the match quality boost to maximum for any matches with female superstars. This would be a good week to use it, but I don't want to use it right away. So we'll use this for Jordan Grace next week. Now, do I sign Alexa or not? I think that we do. And then we'll use one of each. One of each. The men's division kind of gets screwed over, but also not really, because I think that initially we were at 8. How many men were we at? 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we're already uneven. So there's that. Screw it. We're signing Alexa for 2 weeks, and then next week using that power card on her. So we'll sign Alexa for 2 weeks, use that power card on her. Or no, I only need to sign her for 1. We're signing her for 1. And then using that power card on her. That way we're not using all of our money up. So boom. I just didn't want it to be where I couldn't use her this week. So I want this match to be a triple threat match, though. So we'll have Alexa cut a charity promo as well. Now down here, though, is where our dilemma is. Who all needs to be in this main event? I know I said I wanted CM Punk. This makes it so difficult. I know I said I want to CM Punk at our first main event, but I think it benefits us to go ahead and establish the Alistair and Punk rivalry next week. So we need to change him to a bruiser. So both Alistair and Punk will be ready for that next week. So now, do we do who? I think we'll do a triple threat. See, this is the other thing. Sammy, Kevin, and Jacob. The issue here. So we got 2 bruisers. So we'll wait till next week to do that for them. We also have no singles matches, which is kind of crazy. But I don't really have anybody for Sammy to go against in a singles. Unless I did Obafemi. I'm going to do the triple threat. If Jacob ends up as U.S. champion, that is fine. I also will have to turn Kevin to the fighter because Jacob's not at the level to where I could change his class yet. So Kevin next week we need to turn into a fighter. And so this week's main event, triple threat, Sammy. I want to put him at the... I don't think this helps. I always try to put it in order of the people in the rivalry. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. Jacob and Kevin. U.S. title with Obafemi going after Sammy. Now, let me go back and read that. Ensure that your least popular cruiser is in a match this week. Thing one, I just told y'all that this freaking power card is useless. Granted, I did not know Alexa was our least popular cruiser because now it's clicking a while that wasn't working. Hopefully this helps here. Starting with a triple threat. We have a tag match. We have a four-way. Even though logically speaking, we should probably make this a singles. I wanted all matches to be title matches. It's not the most creative thing. This is a literal title Tuesday. But I'm okay with everything because hopefully this starts a rivalry with Oba and Sammy. So everything again is a work in progress. Now, looking back over here, book 5 of show. This should be 100% done. This should be done. I don't know if this will be done. Probably not. I can't do that now. We didn't get the money for it. We haven't spent any money on that. We'll see when this stuff gets done. So, I will admit the GM challenges this week are a bit more difficult than usual. Or this season, I should say. I think I said this month. So let me write all this down, and we can go. Opening contest, which realistically speaking, we could make the main event, but I already like how it's laid out. Io Sky defending her women's title against Asuka and Julia. I was checking to see if the audio is working. Next matchup for the tag team titles. I misspelled women. I put an N instead of an M. Butter City Machine Guns versus Chad Gable and Pete Dunne for the tag team titles. I'm not writing their full names. Gable and Dunne. To crown the inaugural or our first women's U.S. champion. One person who is American, but Jordan Grace versus Natalia versus Isla Dawn versus Lyra Valkyria. I'm also going to tell you this now. Thing one, I don't know why they have Hell in the Cell as our next pay-per-view, because they've not done a Hell in the Cell pay-per-view since 2022 off. My math is correct. I'm not 100% certain. When we do that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus Obafemi Jacob Fatu match, though, that would be great. That is a match I'll probably do at some point. So, boom. I think I have enough to write down week 2 matches on this same page. So, I think everything's going well. We're not even using Tyrese, even though we signed him to a big lucrative contract. His role is being changed. His class is being changed. We got a charity promo by Heel. No crazy stipulations this week. All right, let's go ahead and go. Y'all been waiting too long. This might be the thumbnail. I doubt it, though. EO retains. It turned to the rivalry I wanted. Thank you. Alistair gets booed, which I would imagine is a good thing. Motor City still the tag champs. 3 stars. Back-to-back matches. Natalia. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with 2 stars. Kind of ruins our streak. And it made the opposite rivalries that I wanted. But I don't think... I don't know. I think Jordan and Isla are both bruisers, which kind of screws that up. So maybe we just have them all 4 feuding with one another. Sammy retains. And it did not start a rivalry with Obafemi that I anticipated. I also want it to be known that I wrote down Obafemi was in this match and not Jacob Fatu. So here's that. Here's our competition. The Judgment Day versus the Wyatt 6. Okay, now we're getting some bullshit. Also, I'm sorry to Bailey. I said now we're getting some bullshit, right? When freaking Bailey popped up. All right, there we go, boom. We didn't have a rating. Back-to-back boos. Champion versus champion match. A new champion. I didn't even notice the title was on the line. Main event, Charlotte versus Roxanne Perez. And Charlotte retains. The Wyatt 6 are split up because we just had the Wyatt 6 on Raw. A matchup that happened in real life. And a title change that also happened in real life as well. Also wanted to be known, I'm fairly certain that like none of these people were their top. I think Cody was the top drafted person for NXT. He's not anywhere to be seen on the show. I'm going to imagine that Logan and KSI will be put as a tag team on this brand. As AOP become NXT tag champs once again. There's no way in hell we didn't have the best show here. I'm just tooting my own horn. Like, look at what we went against. Y'all got Javon Evans. Y'all didn't even book him. Okay. Hey. You want to come over? Come to SmackDown. I know you just left. We waited all this time for ECW to come back. And we're getting back-to-back 1-star matches. Like it's 2007 ECW. I want to be known. Not that long ago, I was like, you know what I want to do? I want to go back and watch CM Punk's ECW title run. As we did have the highest rated match, but if you added them together, we would at the average. I wanted to watch CM Punk's ECW title reign. So it's like from September to February-ish. I could see why nobody liked this. 2007 ECW is very bad. It is just the CM Punk show. If you like Kelly, then you might enjoy it. As we are in second place, LA Knight, not anywhere to be seen on NXT. At least Punk cut a promo for us. All right. That loser, Femi, attacked me during that last fight. I'm not going to settle for guard. I want to settle things in the ring with him within the next 3 weeks. Okay, I can do that. Have at least one gauntlet match. Did that start a rivalry? It didn't, even though it should have. It did start a rivalry. All right, so that one will probably not get done. All right, thing one that needs to be done before I forget. We need to use this for Jordan Grace, who is a bruiser. So I also need to look to see if Isla Dawn is a bruiser or a fighter. I think she's a bruiser. She is. So we have 2-ish weeks to settle that. Do we? Not really. All right. I want to go ahead and get one of these and then save up to get to the concert hall So which one of these benefit? They all cost the same. But which one benefits us the most? We get the most fans here. We get slightly more money. I think it benefits us more. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch your tiger by $2 if it holds. We go eeny, meeny, money. Mo. All right, we're going to the email campaign. So now I got 20,000 to spend. Now, what are we doing for our mini events? Thing one that I want to do, because we have 3 weeks before we need to book Oba and Sammy. I want to turn Sammy to a specialist. EO also needs to be a specialist, so let's go ahead and get that done this week. So EO is also going to be a specialist. And then we need to do a charity promo with who? We need to turn Kevin into a fighter. I think we could wait a week on that one, correct? I think we'll wait a week on that. So we're going to run it back somewhat and do CM Punk. It's not running it back. CM Punk versus Aleister Black versus Kevin Owens, with Jacob going after Kevin, and with the idea that Kevin cost Jacob the U.S. title last week. Now, do I put the... I'm going to leave the title off. We're not going to put the title on the line. We'll do that whenever, depending on who wins. Now, the other thing that I noticed is that I don't have enough for charity promo, so we'll probably do an ad promo here with someone. I don't know who yet. As this might be the week that we do all those women's matches and then use that power card. I don't know how. I don't want to use all these power cards right away, but this would be a good week. Because the other thing is we can't do any stipulation matches because we don't have the money for it. So we can't even do this gauntlet match. How much is a gauntlet match? 30. We see we don't even have enough to do that, so we'll just ignore that. Who needs to be competing? Obafemi needs to wrestle, but the issue is I don't have anyone for him to wrestle. I think we're going to do all those women's matches that I was talking about. Give Motor City the week off. So, Asuka and Julia. Let's think this through. Because we definitely need EO to be a specialist. So we need to get that done this week. Might as well do it the same with Sammy, and then next week turn Kevin into a fighter. All right, I think I know what we're going to do. We're just going to do Asuka and Julia in a one-on-one match. And then down here, do a tag match with Alexa and Isla Dawn versus Natalya and Lyra. Potentially turning this into a fatal 4-way next week. Probably not, because we need Alexa to be feuding with EO. So over here is our dilemma somewhat. We're just going to run it back between Motor City and Pete Dunne. And maybe the challengers can win this matchup. So we're just going to run that match back. I don't have anything for Halliburton to do unless he wants to cut another promo. Because we can't. We need to get money. We'll give this to Halliburton again. And then we'll see Obafemi next week. So I'm okay with this episode. It's not as good as the first one, but obviously also the first one had 4 title matches. So it's going to be hard to top. Asuka versus Julia. Motor City Machine Guns versus Dunn and Gable. Alexa Bliss. / Isla Dawn versus Natalia and Lyra Valkyria. Kind of mispronounced that. And CM Punk and Aleister Black versus Kevin Owens. Now I'll tell y'all this. The schedule, if I don't have to make a commitment, I'm not. So, for the past couple months, I haven't had a set schedule outside of Ring of Honor reviews on Fridays. So, there's no reason that should change. As Motor City wins again, so P. Dunne and Chad Gable, y'all trying to get a tag team opportunity. I think in my mind, we're not doing a retro review this week because we're double uploading in the AHS place. There's also episode 100. I don't think I said that at the beginning, even though I should. This is a somewhat of a milestone you could put. Right. I'm going to hope I had Jacob going after Kevin. I might have forgot. Okay, he should have. And it did start a rivalry down there. I saw that. What was I saying? There's something about. Okay, I see AJ. I was going to skip through this whole show, but I see AJ. I at least want to see what he does. We're not doing a retro review this week, mainly because I didn't know exactly what to review, and I mainly didn't want to spend time watching something I didn't feel the need and want to review. And like I said, we're double uploading an AHS plays, so it's not as essential. So retro review should be. So the schedule should be AHS plays on Monday. So MyGM on Monday, retro review Wednesday, ROH review Fridays for the time being, with potential changes happening at some point. Not guaranteed though. I will also say we probably are going to be screwed in the ratings because we did do a charity promo. As they are trying to make Logan Paul a double champion, by the way. I don't think the title's on the line, but the title actually might be on the line because it shows the title for LA Knight, and he's already the North American champion. So I'm gonna hope not, or maybe I hope that he is, and it screws their ratings up. The top will tell there. So yeah, this is an NXT title match, and he is a double champion. Way to go. As Lexis King helped him, by the way. That's somewhat realistic. Javon Evans is competing this week. And lost. Javon Evans would be a good ECW TV champion. See Ilya Dragunov. Need to put him as someone to trade for. We need to be scouting tag teams to go against Motor City. Potentially. We also signed 2 women, so our next 2 signings will probably be men. And probably people that could be at a tag team. As we have a new tag team champions here. In Andrade and Andre Chase, which there's got to be somewhat of a pun entendre you could make there. So, not as good as week 1. Not as much money as week 1, especially. As everybody else is in the 100,000s. And not us. That's not good. But we're still in second place. We're not that far off from first. All right. We're in Tokyo, Japan. So EO's going to be booked. Over the weekend, Pete Dunne, I won't say what he did. So Pete Dunne has screwed our tag team division up. Unless we do Kevin and Sammy versus Motor City for like a one-off. But I can't make that a rivalry. So EO is definitely competing this week. I think we're going to run back that triple threat we did on the first week in the main event slot, because that makes a lot of sense, with Alexa attacking EO afterwards. As I will admit, we did kind of run through this rivalry pretty quick. I apologize. It's not that done. It's not done yet, but still. Ensure your least popular special. So that is Tyrese. And I did say I probably need to put him in a match this week, but I did say over here, Alexa attacking EO, starting that rivalry, hopefully. So, Kevin needs to be turned into a special fighter, correct? Yes. And Jacob is already a bruiser, so thinking it through. We don't have the assets or money to do any of this. We have CM Punk. I would love to do CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Motor City. That's just a shits and giggles match, but then all of our faces are gone. Tyrese has to be in a match this week. Against who, I don't know necessarily. We could do Sammy, but Sammy wants to face Obafemi. Decisions. There was an idea of putting Tyrese with Gable to replace. I think we might do that and then make that like a stipulation match. So up here, we're doing Sami Zayn and Obafemi, correct? Can we go crazy with the stipulation? None that really like benefits us. So, do I do it as an extreme? We'll do it as a tables match. That way, we're not going that crazy. Now, women's division wise, I'm going to turn Natalya heel already because that was something that needed to be done, correct? So Natalya will turn into a heel. Now, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 face women. 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, Natalya needs to turn heel. And we could do Lyra versus Isla Dawn in a match. Probably none of these stipulations really benefit anything. We'll come back to that. Men's wise, we have a lot of competitors. None really mesh well with Halliburton. I did also say I wanted to do. All right. I don't want to risk it and then put this off a week. Motor City versus Punk and Sammy would be a crazy match to have, but it's not been. I don't even think it won't even benefit us next week because next week's supposed to be the pay-per-view show. So that was just might be wishful thinking. We need Punk to do something, obviously. It would help us to have Jacob do something. I think we're going to do something a bit wild. And have Jacob and Halliburton versus Motor City with Chad Gable interfering and going after Chris Sabin. We won't put the titles on the line. Now here, we're going to do these two Extreme Rules and then have Punk cut a charity promo for us. Sorry that Alistair is not being used. They're not even registered as a rivalry. But I don't know who to put Punk against to have Alistair interfere. It would make sense to do it as Jacob, but it actually would make sense for us to do it as Chad Gable. But then it kind of makes this match seem not as needed. I'd rather Punk do a charity promo than compete, as wild as that might sound. Especially while we have the money to do the charity promo. You know what I'm saying? So next week Jordan Grace will come back, so we'll also have a talent back. So I'm all right with that. So this week, Sami Zayn gets his revenge on Obafemi potentially in a tables match, correct? Yes. Jacob Fatu and Tyrese Halliburton. I'm gonna look here to see. All right, there's nobody worth signing there. I didn't even want to look and waste money. It also puts a bad look on our tag team division if Chad Gable and Pete Dunne couldn't defeat Motor City, but Jacob Fatu and Halliburton could. Not the worst thing. Actually, not, because Gable's interfering. I keep forgetting about that. Lyra and I also have nowhere to put my controller. Just making writing things hard. I heard awkward silence, so I had to double check what the hell was going on. Lyra Valkyria versus Isla Dawn Extreme Rules. So I will also say this. Does this count as a promise? Because if it does, then we would have 2 done in 1 week. I'm going to hope that it does. And get one of these done. Also, last week's, I'm guessing, didn't count as a perfect drama curve, which is bullcrap. This should also be done. This, we should have a second one with Alexa and EO, hopefully. We have also not bought any power cards, which I thought that we would have by now. I'll also say the crazy thing is, I don't think any of these matches are really Hell in the Cell worthy. So, we might not even do a Hell in the Cell once we get to the pay-per-view. So, let's get to this episode done. I'll take a sip of water. Sammy wins. That's not good. This is not going to be good. At least the champs won. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Isla Dawn wins. And then da-da-da-da. Is what brought everybody here. As Asuka, we have a new champion and a new rivalry, correct? Yes. Asuka Julia might be. We might do that in Hell in the Cell. I don't know. I don't really care much for that. I'm gonna imagine. If I simulate this at LA Knight doesn't win, I'm gonna be a bit salty. If I see stuff that I think is worth it, we'll go through it. Champs retain. Title's on the line again. As LA Knight wins it right back, so hot potato. Poor opening. As we had 4-star matches is just like everybody else is. Everybody else is going to have their money stacked up too. I don't know where I'm going wrong. I guess I don't think they're spending any money on their promos where I am. I think that might be where the mess up is. As NXT is building a lead. I don't like that. I'm not happy. As a former champion, I want a championship rematch against Asuka. Nobody else better get a shot before me. We'll do that match tonight as the main event with Alexa interfering. Is that what we need to do? All right. I'm glad that got done. I don't know who the hell we made happy. I'm glad that got done. We also got another one. We got 2 more. I don't know what other rivalry got started here, but we will obviously take that. So, Asuka and Io, I said. I think we're going to do Asuka Io with Julia interfering and going after Asuka. That way, at Hell in the Cell, we could do Asuka and Julia. Women's title. Do I do this as a false count anywhere? I need to go back and look at what. I don't know how much that benefits us. Well, if I need to change that, I will. Now, over here, what needs to be done? We need to sign somebody. We need to help our tag division out badly. We're gonna have the first Jacob and Kevin one-on-one matchup. So we're gonna. I think these two would actually benefit more from the Falls Count Anywhere because they haven't wrestled as much. So we'll put this as a non-stipulation for now. We might change it to a stip, but we'll leave it to that for now. So Jordan Grace is back. I forgot who's she even supposed to be feuding with. Nobody really. Do we do a 4-way for the women's U.S. title again? I think we're gonna rematch first from the first episode. 4-way. So Natalia, and it kind of might set up Natalia Jordan Grace as a rivalry like it was supposed to be. We'll do the way we're going. Heel face. I'm very picky with the orders. I think we're actually having Motor City cut promos this week instead of competing. We might change that. So I'm trying to get a big fan advantage, so that's what we're gonna do. Probably all charity. I think we only got enough money for one more charity promo, and then we'll see what happens there. Punk and Alistair, the stipulation match would. I think we're just actually going to do them in a one-on-one match as well. So Punk and not I don't know. I thought I hit Alistair. We'll do that in a one-on-one match. If Alistair wins, he would obviously earn a title shot. I just don't know when we'd be doing that. So up here, we're going to do a triple threat for the U.S. title. Sammy, Obafemi. Actually, we're going to leave Chad Gable out. I was going to put Chad Gable in. You know what? F it. If Chad Gable wins and wants to be U.S. champion, he can. Then that just means we need to revamp our tag team division, I will say. So Sammy, Obafemi, and Chad Gable for the U.S. title. As we're going to have both of these cut a promo. I think we're going to have Tyrese do the ad promo and Alexa do the charity promo. So, boom. It's actually a good episode. This should be a good episode. Rematch from week 1. First, Jacob and Kevin singles match. As I didn't even write down all the results from. This is what happens when you write things. I half-assed wrote all that down earlier. Week 4. This should be a good episode. So, we should only have to do this one more time. I don't know how last week's was a perfect. I told y'all this was going to be opinionated. They're going to screw us over on this one. I don't think we have any run-ins being done. We have a run-in being done, but it's not going to set up a rivalry, I don't think. We've not done any training promos. We've not bought any power cards. We ain't had any money for that. This, boom. So, thinking things over, though. 1, 2, 3. We only need to get one more, which is going to be hard because these two should be done soon. This one should be done soon. I don't know what other one to do. That's going to be the issue because obviously you need 5. We're having this done. EL's getting her match tonight. So, Kevin Owens and Jacob Fatu, Falls Count Anywhere. I've heard several cars go by. Oh, fantasy football update. I was going to throw that. I got sidetracked. I'm 3-2 in my NFL fantasy league, which I did not plan on. I only planned on doing 1 this year. I'm glad that I decided to do 2. But I also thought it was essential to do an NFL fantasy league because it's going to be the last year you can do it. Because next year it is being joined with the ESPN. I don't know. There's a better way to describe that. So in ESPN fantasy, I'm 2-3. NFL fantasy, I am 3-2. I was in first place. Also projected to go freaking 15-0 when the draft was done. That was a lie. I already lost twice now. But granted, all my wide receivers were out, either hurt or on their bye week last week. Or this week. Week 5, so. I'm just trying to kill the downtime, I guess. It's also getting very hot. Which we're in October. It's not supposed to be the opposite. I've said it before. I like the winter more than the summer because I get hot and sweat very easily. Where in the winter, I don't get as cold as I do as hot, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So, CM Punk, Aleister Black, once again. And then lastly, Asuka versus Io Sky for the women's title. Boom. Alright. Whew. Jacob wins. Chris Sabin, shout out. Chad Gable, of course, is screwing us over, but good for him. We could realistically have... I don't know what we're going to do with Pete Dunne. I'll admit that. There's a great chance that we trade him, but I don't know. It's going to be hard to kind of trade somebody that just got suspended. How many times has that happened? Somebody got suspended. I just thought of one, but I'm not going to mention it. It's been referenced several times in this series already. CM Punk wins. Aleister Black's having a hard time getting a damn title opportunity. He keeps losing. It should be good. As Asuka wins. So Julia and Asuka. That is the planned match for Hell in the Cell. Let's go through the results. Somehow NXT and ECW outdid us. Shout out Andrade Chase. There's a pun there somewhere. We ain't getting any money as well, which is a bit of a bummer. Also didn't see our fan count. So I'm gonna be surprised by it right here. Hooray! We're 10,000 up. That is good. Gable is at a 40. All right, Hell in the Cell, Corbin, Kentucky. I've never heard of that place. I don't know why we would have a steel cage match at Hell in the Cell, but that is what they're trying to get us to do. You would want to do a Hell in the Cell match. Do I even have enough money for a Hell in the Cell match? Maybe they're trying to. Or, well, I do, but you see the issue. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Do you want the power card or do you want the PLE bonus? I still don't even really know what the PLE bonus does. So we'll come back to that. So, these two, women's U.S. title, I think for the sake of it, we'll do the steel cage match, conclude their rivalry, save $5,000. I still, again, don't really know what the PLE bonus does, but we're at least getting something there. Now, over here, we'll probably put Alexa in this. She has the highest stamina, correct? We just had EO competing, so we'll have Alexa in this match. We're gonna do a charity promo, probably with CM Punk because he's got a high stamina and the best promo skills on the roster. While over here, Sammy would make. I just freaking hit my foot on my chair and that hurt. Sammy would make sense. Aleister also makes sense. I think we're going to go with Aleister. Anything else of note? As we've saved, we don't have enough money yet, but saving up for that stuff. This again, this one was hard to do. You can't really do that one this week. I don't think any promises are set out right now. All right. Week 5, first PLE. Hell in the Cell. Hell in a Cell. Hell in the Cell. I just create a show. Alexa Bliss representing Smack. You know what? We're just going to go through this right now. I'm alright with all this. Representing SmackDown, Alexa Bliss. Representing Raw. Oh, Rhea's going to win this. I already know. Huh? This was a tag match? What the hell? Now I'm actually kind of mad. I thought this was a Fatal 4-Way. We had no chance. We had no chance. I wonder if ECW drafted Rhea because she was wearing purple in her picture. Either way, I'm kind of salty. I thought it was a freaking Fatal 4-Way. That's Julia. Wins in a 5-star match. Thank you. Women's. Nobody else did a Hell in the Cell, by the way. We at least kept up with the cage implications. Nobody else did a charity promo either. They're just worried about their damn selves. I don't like. Alright, so we're not the only people to have 5-star matches. This is going to get 5 stars. I know. This should not get 5 stars. A giant versus a fighter, this should get 2. Thank you. It was 4, but you get my point. So this one's a Fatal 4-Way. Okay, maybe. We win this one at least. Nope. At least it wasn't Giovanni Vinci. Alright, so we've lost. What show is Vinci on SmackDown? No, we're SmackDown. Now I'm being an idiot. ECW. You got the damn title right there. My notes are all kind of messed up now. I don't think Tozawa was an NXT competitor because he came in during the Cruiserweight Classic and then I think he just joined Raw on 205 Live. So I was trying to see if there's somewhat of a connection there. We need money. That is desperately what we need because all these other shows have money. At least, oh no, that's bad. Only 1,000. All right. Pete Dunne is on the trade block. I would love AJ, but we obviously don't have anything to give up or money to get AJ. It'd be nice to find a tag team to go against Motor City. There was somebody I really wanted to. All right, I'm going to see. I doubt this happens. YOLO. We do this. We should ask for money back for this. I know Paul Heyman's at the top. I got to give money up. I'll propose it. Now, if I lower the money, because I did want to draft Ilya Dragunov. Okay. If I took the money, if I make it 10,000, this would be my last offer. Okay. I don't want to give up. I like Trick Williams. I don't want to give up money right now. I'm glad I didn't plan on. I just told you I ain't. Okay, y'all just did. So it would cost 4 times, correct? If I wanted to do a talent scout search. I'm not that worried about that. Hey, I've noticed you haven't been making regular use of call-out promos. They're a useful tool for you as a GM. You should be thinking about current and future rivalries between your superstars to ensure the audience keeps coming back. Okay, that last part, that last part I'm lying about because I'm just clamoring to ask for money. I want to go against both Grace and Sky this week. I don't mean in a tag match. I want a triple threat or a fatal four-way. You know what, Natalia? I'm willing to oblige with that. So we need to do clear the best superstar, I imagine. I'm alright with that match. All match types are free this week. Superstars that are in a match with a superstar. Select a superstar when the superstar participates in a match. All participants lose. I think this is what sucks. This only helps us once, where these help us out. Superstars that are in a match with a superstar at or above. I'm just gonna do this, man. I'm just gonna do this. Screw it. All right. Thing one. I don't have to put this in the main event. I keep thinking this has to be the main event. It doesn't. Thing one. To clear up the tag team rivalry. And, you know, we're being honest, they haven't even earned a shot because they lost all their matches. But to conclude the rivalry, almost audio. We're going to do this in a cage. Boom. Then we can have Pete Dunne and Chad Gable go against each other, maybe. I don't know. Time will tell there. They asked for a TLC match. I'm willing to do a TLC match. I just don't know for what exactly. Natalia, I'm willing to put in that triple threat or four-way. If here's what sucks. If I do this, I don't know if it. Yeah, I'm willing to take the risk. I imagine that it would count, but hopefully you're going to get my drift. Natalia, Jordan Grace, Io, and Alexa, with the idea that because if you notice, the winner gets a 3-week contract extension. The only person in here that has a contract is Alexa. So hopefully Alexa wins and we could spin her and Io off to the women's US title and we get a +3 on her contract. So boom there. Again, the issue is I don't know what to make. We could do, who the hell, I forgot Chad Gable was the US champ. I kind of thought it was Sammy still. We have Punk. I'm going to give Julia and Asuka the week off because we don't really have anything for them, and they've wrestled every week. So Lyra and Isla we need in a match. Alright, I've got a way better idea. Oba and Sammy, we're going to do in a backstage brawl because when you do backstage brawls, you get plus 10,000. And especially because it's free this week, it makes the most sense to do that match this week. I'm doing this match this week to conclude this rivalry, and Chad Gable can go on be U.S. champ. We just need to find stuff with him for our tag team division afterwards. Or I just told y'all, doing this match, Natalia, Jordan Grace, Io Sky, and Alexa Bliss. Hopefully Alexa wins. With doing so, we get a +3 on her contract. And we could have her and Io fight for the U.S. title. Regardless, I'm alright with any of these people winning, but it would benefit us the best if it was Alexa. So now, who over here needs to be in a TLC match? I think the best... I said I was going to do these two. I know it doesn't make sense for them to be in a TLC match, but I want to get that challenge. I don't know what they're fighting for. Maybe we could do Lyra and Asuka. I don't think we can. We'd have to change Asuka to a bruiser, which I don't know if I necessarily want to do that. But you understand what I was getting at. Maybe that's Asuka and Lyra is probably our next rivalry, but we got some time before that. So, Punk can cut another charity promo. We're going to do all charity promos this week. Correct? This would also really be a good week to sign somebody. We'll do a call-out promo for Jacob and Kevin, since Mr. Knows-It-All suggested it. This, I'm fully imagining we have 12 people booked on the show. This, we should have one more done. Now the issue again is where the hell do we get that fifth? Because this 1, 2. So we only got 3 done. Where the hell is the fourth one? This one's difficult. This one shouldn't take as long. So this is the fourth one. We need that fifth. I don't like doing false count anywhere matches. We might do like, so if I did hypothetically won this, well, there might be like a time where we just do like back-to-back weeks of all false count anywhere matches. Maybe we do a gimmick where we forgot the ring. I think also, realistically speaking, let me get the other 3 done and see where we're at then. And then I'm like, I desperately need to get this other, because the other one's is like going to be, it's going to take time, you know, and we very rarely have the money to spend on power cards. So, and if a power card, like none of these power cards really, this one really kind of does, but these other power cards don't benefit us as much. Now, I will say, this is a good week to look for a talent. I will go here. In the tag team division, preferably. Even though Alba Phi would be a good signing. I think we're going to do 3 straight right here. This might be a risk. Omos would be great to have. Charlie Dempsey. Not a good signing. Braun Breaker, I wanted to draft. Now the issue here is I'm going to have to cut a promo, probably. Alright, I knew that was a mistake. Ooh! Do I team Charlie Dempsey with Pete Dunne? I don't think that's the best idea. Alright. I need to cut $10,000, which I also, again, realized that it wouldn't be in cutting the call-out promo because it's only $3,000. I want to do a charity promo. I feel the need to do a charity. Alright, I think we're going to do the cheapskate thing and just sign him for... Because here's the thing. What's this other power card? You know what? We'll sign it for the week and then use it. I don't really want to use this. Where's this other thing? This. I don't really want to use any of those, if I'm being honest. But even though Charlie Dempsey would be... I could find him... I spent a lot doing talent searches. It would kind of be bad if I didn't sign anybody. I think I'm going to do the good thing and not sign anybody. Even though Charlie Dempsey did, you know, he kind of pops off the screen like, you should sign him. But I'm going to save the money and not sign anybody. Even though we desperately need to find something for the tag division. Week 6, we'll do one more episode. We're already past the hour mark, but I have one more spot left on my page. And this is kind of a good week to end on. Sami Zayn versus Oba Femi, and I'm starting to sweat. I mentioned that earlier. Backstage brawl. This is a lot to write down. Natalia versus Jordan. Grace versus Io. Sky versus Alexa Bliss. Women's U.S. title gauntlet. This, oh my goodness, why is it so much to write down? Eliminator. Number 1 contenders match. Probably Isla Dawn versus Lyra Valkyria in a TLC match just to make the boss happy. Steel cage match, Motor City Machine Guns versus Chad Gable and Pete Dunne. There we go. I don't think we got 2 charity promos happening. It is extremely risky to do all Falls Count Anywhere matches, as I mentioned, but maybe 2 a week with whoever has like the most stamina. This one would I did this one mainly because it was free and cost the most and gives us fans. Even though Obafemi I don't think has won at all while being on our roster. This also would have been a good week to buy EO1, which is not the worst thing. She's just racking up titles. She could be a tag team champion on this roster very quickly. Whenever we have enough women to do women's tag division. Lyra wins. So I think it does make sense because Isla won the first match and Lyra's won this match. So it does make sense for them to compete again. As Motor City sweeps Pete Dunne and Chad Gable. As they keep booking the Wyatt 6 versus the Judgment Day. I'll go through this episode. This seems like a decent episode, at least. I also just realized they have 2 Chase U University members on there. Because normally, I will give them credit that this year, they have gotten better at putting people that would actually team together as tag teams. But the one time I noticed, I saw 2 Chase U logos. I'm like, I don't know why they don't have them teaming together. And I think Andrade and Ilya would actually be a decent tag team. Also, real life, where the hell is Ilya Dragunov? I was told he was supposed to be back. I haven't seen him. Okay. Poor opening. I guess the Gauntlet Eliminator kind of would have been the better match, but also still I don't have any money. I guess we don't have any money, but compared to these other rosters, we don't. And we're not even like that far ahead on the fan advantage. Okay, we are now. I take that back. Sorry. Somewhat. Money in the Bank is our next pay-per-view. All right, we also competed another Promise, correct? And we'll have one more. Boom. Thank you, Tyrese, for asking. I think what we're gonna do, bit of an insane match. No, never mind. All right, we're gonna have Kevin and Sammy team up and face Tyrese and Jacob with Oba attacking Sammy. The question is, what stipulation? Because everybody's besides Sammy, all the others have high stipulation. We'll probably do a tornado tag because all these other stipulations I can at least do with other matches. I did want, I'm gonna slowly try to get through Falls Count Anywhere matches with Isla. I just combined both their names. Lyra and Isla. No, I didn't. Isla. God damn it. Isla and Ryla. God. Is what happens. We're an hour plus in. These 2, Falls Count Anywhere match. Just to slowly get through this. It also makes sense to do... Alright, we're going to actually we're backtracking on our previous statement. Punk and Alistair in the Underground is a match that would make sense. And while they still have high staminas, and because he asked for it, we'll be doing it. Now over here... Pete Dunne in the Underground would also make sense because he has a high stamina. But the other 2, I'm okay with doing. I wanted to do Falls Count Anywhere matches, is what I was getting at. So, these 2, Falls Count Anywhere match, while they still got somewhat high staminas. Now, if I go over here, I could sign Chosen and put him against Pete Dunne in a Falls Count Anywhere match. And then the issue here is that I need to start building up to buy some of these things. It's because we have, but I don't know which one benefits us the most. This one. So we are already spending a lot of money this week. I took this. All right. What are we doing? I wanted to do one more Falls Count Anywhere match. and at least one charity promo, and then 2 ad promos. So who here gives us the best promos? I think we're going to do... What other Falls Count? I said I didn't want to rush through the Falls Count Anywhere matches. Even though I'm kind of going back on that now. So I think we're going to do these 2, Falls Count Anywhere. And we still have enough for 1 charity promo, which makes sense if it comes from Alexa, correct? Yes. We have exactly enough to do 1 charity promo. So the other promos we're doing are going to be ads from our tag champs. While Pete Dunne, I did want to book this week because he's got a high stamina, but I don't really have anything for him. I'm liking how all this lined up. We're slowly but surely getting through the Falls Count Anywheres. I probably could have done a run-in. We can probably do a run-in next week. We're spending all our money, which is not that good, but at least we're doing 2 ad promos this week. We've done 7 shows and only did... I told y'all this one I was going to get screwed over on badly. We have not bought any power cards. That's probably not happening either. This one should be done. Boom. We'll have 3 done. So I just need to start doing more run-ins. Which, realistically speaking, we could do in the winter. We need to conclude some rivalries first. So we're going to do this week. I'll probably set up the matches for next week and then call it. I'm not making any guarantees. We might keep going. Who knows? Week 7. Episode 7. Can I see? I don't think I can. Where is the GM assistant? I can't see what type of buildings the other rosters are in, correct? Because that's the interesting part. I think I can only see it when we're in, like, looking at the matches, and you gotta, like, look closely in the background. Sometimes you can notice, but I very rarely pay that close of attention. So CM Punk and Alistair in the Underground actually sounds cool. And if Alistair doesn't win, we're going to have a discussion about him. He's getting done up. Two Falls Count Anywhere matches. Isla Dawn versus Lyra Valkyria. Jordan Grace versus Natalia, Falls Count Anywhere. And then Tyrese makes his return to the ring, teaming with Jacob Fatu to face Kevin Owens and Tyrese, or and Sami Zayn. Tyrese Ali, Burton, and Jacob Fatu. I already did Kevin and Jacob in a Falls Count Anywhere match, correct? Yes, on week 4. Now, I can't make this a Falls Count Anywhere match because it's not an option. I just wrote... I'm disappointed in myself. I wrote it down as a Falls Count Anywhere match. It's a tornado tag. Boom. Alright, I'm alright with this episode. This would make sense to have Halliburton come back here because I saw that we're in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Which actually might be the opposite thing. Maybe he never wants to play here again, which would make sense. Alistair, we're going to have to start having some conversation. You ain't won a match. You're letting CM Punk do you up. I know it's kind of disrespectful to refer to some of these people just by one name. It just makes it a lot easier. Isla Dawn wins. She is 2-1 against Lyra, correct? She won on week 3. She lost week 6. She has won week 7. So she is 2-1. We are keeping count, which we are. As Jordan Grace beats Natalia. A good match. Main event, tornado tag. As Kevin and Sammy win. And then they're going to say poor finale. I guarantee that's what they tell us. This is an interesting main event. Poor finale. Told y'all. Our mid card match. Okay, we had a good episode. Y'all gonna say poor finale. We had a good episode. We got some more money than usual. Also quit. I don't look at the fans here. I wait till we get to this menu. That way I can see them all at once. We're in the lead. The other two NXT's right on our ass. The other two, not so much. And NXT has the most money, that's not a good thing. Speaking of money in the bank, I saw that. Just a reminder to ensure, yeah, I get it. Alright, I'm alright with that. Do I sign Wolfgang and team him up with Pete Dunne? I don't look. Just because I would like to stick it to what brand's he on. He is on Raw. But I don't want to waste any money. And I don't have anything planned for him. So I'm going to take that back. Rest your solo champions. That's hard because we have Punk, Chad Gable, who, being honest, we need to book at some point. Io and Julia, who has not wrestled since Hell in the Cell. So what are we doing this week? Alistair wants a different opponent. That is fair. Let's think this through. I'm probably let Sammy rest this week. This is going to be a difficult week because everybody's staminas are slowly getting done up. I haven't used any. I've not used a power card in a minute. We don't have any of these that's going to be done anytime soon. We've only done 2 shows, but that last episode was pretty good. I think what they mean by perfect pacing is main event is the highest rated thing and all that crap. I thought they just didn't want you to book bad shit, which we haven't in a minute. We need to do Io and Alexa, as I just combined both their names. So we're going against what the boss wants in resting our solo stars. I think Io and Alexa. We'll probably won't do any stip matches this week. I want Punk to face Motor City. The issue, also Alistair asked for a different opponent, which makes things a bit more difficult because everybody is heels. We need Sammy to get some rest because he is a 25. We're going to actually do him a favor and give him the... Never mind. I thought we had a health spa. We only got an injury rehab. We can't do what I wanted to do. Do I go ahead and help myself out and buy this or this? I think we're going to buy this one first and then go with the other one later. So maybe next week we can get this one. What to do. Lyra and Isla, it makes sense to do in a match with hopefully Lyra winning, and then at next week's show we can have their big blow off. So I think we're just going to have them in a one-on-one match. No stipulations, like I said. And hopefully we could put a stipulation on them next week. Over here is where things get... Alright, this is going to be it's a weird, can they coexist thing. CM Punk and Alice. This is not going to get hot. Alright, we're going to actually put this third because I know it's not going to get high rating. This is just hopefully making myself happy. CM Punk and Aleister Black versus Motor City. Again, this is not the best booking. Punk and Alistair would be a good team, but they've been feuding for 2 months. It doesn't make the most sense, but you understand what's happening. And Alistair did ask for a different opponent. And hopefully Motor City wins. Up here's where it's difficult. I think we just do these two in a Falls Count Anywhere. That way we meet our quota. And their staminas aren't as bad as the others. Now over here, what needs to be done? We need to book Chad Gable next week. We need to book Pete Dunne at some point. Now I'm going to look at something, and you're probably going to understand why I'm looking, and you're probably not going to agree with it, but I at least wanted to look before I did anything. Sammy, charity promo. I don't even think we have enough for another charity promo, correct? We don't. Who can give us the best charity promo? I think Sammy. We're just going to do Sammy by default. Boom. And then I think Asuka and Julia will bring back next week. Chad Gable. When was the last time we booked him? Whenever we did that tag match. No. Yeah, when we did that tag match on week 6. So we need to trade Pete Dunne or release him, which, spoiler alert, that's what I was looking at. I didn't want to, but I think you can understand why. We're actually going to give him... We're going to have Oba do a call out to Sammy. Because we don't have enough for another charity promo. Actually, I'm stingy and want money. Who's the most popular person here? Well, he's not. But you know what? Screw it. We're going to have Tyrese do an ad promo. It makes sense for him to do it. Alright. That's my nail. It's chipped. Yeah, I didn't listen to that. This is done, even though that doesn't even really matter anymore. Da, 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 da. I will also say that Kevin, we're going to have to, like, be prepared for, like, once we get done with the next pay-per-view, which is Money in the Bank, probably every rivalry will reset. Because almost all these rivalries are done. So we don't really need to establish anything new until then. Which, unless they turn this into a rivalry, that shouldn't be the case. This one will probably still be going on. But that's not the worst thing. Week 8. Kevin Owens versus Jacob Fatu. Falls Count Anywhere. I also don't know what matchup for Money in the Bank they'll have us do. A bit of a weird match, I understand. But what I wanted to do, CM Punk and Aleister Black versus the Motor City Machine Guns. And then Io Sky versus Alexa Bliss, Women's US title. Boom. Alright. Anything else? Let's go ahead and get this done. I did say, hey, we'll stop. I don't know when we'll stop. Just keep going. Y'all know before me, like I said. Kevin Owens wins. I'm not against doing Owens and Zayn versus Motor City. That would actually be good. The issue there is obviously two people have to turn heel. As Lyra ties the series up, so we'll probably have a conclusion match with them too. As the champ. I'm glad they did turn this to a rivalry. We have a new champion here. Sam Shaw versus AJ Styles. Probably a matchup that never happened in TNA. They've done LA Knight and Logan Paul every week since like week 2. Good booking. All 4 shows had 3.5 stars. main events. Well, we had we had the highest rated match of the week. So we have a lot of good momentum right now. We have 30,000 fan advantage over NXT, who I know was right behind us. We have the least amount of money where everybody else has got money. And increase the match cost for the show. Okay, not the worst. Oh my God. Normally it gives you the option to only give them 1 week off. Now, the one time I need to book her, they're going to say no. I'm going to lie. I'm lying. We're going to book her, but at least we're probably going to trade her too, if I'm just being honest. That's why I'm lying. Do not book your most popular fighter. Who is that? CM Punk? No. Alistair. I'm not against booking Alistair. Not booking out. You get what I'm saying. So what are we doing here? I'm going to do something crazy. Maybe. I don't think we have the money for it. I'm going to do a casket match. We don't have enough money even if I, like, change things up, which is crazy. Thing one, I wanted to buy this. And I think that I will, just to go ahead and get this done. Boom. So we got 44,000. And then we ain't buying anything else till we upgrade the arena. We ain't crossed $100,000 in a hot minute, so might be a minute for that. Got a lot of things going on here. Tyrese has been teaming with Jacob. It would help us to find like a good partner for Tyrese. All right. EO wants to team with Jordan Grace in the next 3 weeks. I think that's an okay thing to do. Team them up this week, maybe. EO, Jordan Grace, Alexa, and Natalia. The issue is, bro, but they got low stamina. I'm sorry. I don't want to risk waiting 3 weeks to not do that. What match could I put these two in? Iron Man match does make sense, but then I'm screwing myself with. Maybe I'm taking the risk by not doing a charity promo this week. Maybe that's going to be the case. This is our main event. What was also the thing here? All right, this is going to be beneficial to us with Lyra. I'll tell y'all that now. Or yeah, because I'm probably trading Isla Dawn after this. Oh my goodness, look at their staminas. That is not good. Alright, we're going to conclude Sammy and Oba in the opening contest. Where's all our money going? Why is this 22? Is this normally 200? They doubled. Didn't they? Time out. Didn't they double the cost of the matches? Or did I make that up? Yes. This makes sense as an Iron Man match. Well, bruh. I'm considering firing Pete Dunne and taking the money. And then trading Isla Dawn to get somebody. Because it would benefit us to have money and a trade asset. I think we're going to wait till after the trading to potentially fire Pete Dunne. Thing is, it screws with this week's episode badly. Champion versus champion match. Chad Gable, CM Punk. That's a match that makes sense because we don't need to book Alistair. Giving Kevin and Jacob the week off. We're going to have Asuka and Julia cut promos, and then we'll be back. I think when we're gonna bring Asuka, we'll have Asuka do our match at the pay-per-view. With Motor City cutting these other promos. So we also still have to book one more match. I did forget about. I know this matchup doesn't make sense. This matchup makes sense because it's champion versus champion. This matchup I could have waited on, but I don't really want to. This matchup, we still have to make one freaking change. Screw it. Let's go ahead and get this done. We'll do one more false count. We'll do another false count anywhere match. Hooray. And then, I know this matchup doesn't make sense as a false count anywhere match. But just to... Bro, I don't even have enough for that. We're off by like $300-ish. What to do? What to do? I forgot what belt run ends. Ooh. I got an idea. Not really. I don't have an idea. I thought I had an idea. I'm still going to do this match. It benefits that match to be a Falls Count Anywhere match. This rivalry started as a tables match. We're going to have them do a tables match. I know it's lackluster, but also I don't want to risk Sammy's health that much. So, at the pay-per-view, we're probably doing CM Punk, Aleister Black, or Kevin Owens versus Jacob Fatu. I'm still thinking that one through. Alright. Everybody's also getting hurt, which I don't like that. Or low staminas. Nobody's gotten hurt yet. Who's this benefit? Who's competing this week? We're gonna need. I'm gonna use it for Obafemi. He's got a high stakes matchup. So we're gonna do this week and next week, and then we'll be on a bit of a pause. All right. Week 9. Sami Zayn versus Obafemi. Tables match. Pete Dunne versus... How many weeks are left on Alexa Bliss's contract, by the way? 3. So I'm going to go ahead and use this on her. Or Tyrese we might let walk. He's probably not going to ask for that much, but we'll probably let him walk anyways. Falls count anywhere. Io, Sky, and Jordan. Grace versus Alexa Bliss and Natalya. CM Punk versus Chad Gable. Champion. I'm writing that down. I know it's not a step, but you get the point. Champion, which is technically what NXT has been doing. LA Knight, freaking Logan Paul, the whole series. Lyra, Kyria versus Isla Dawn. Falls count anywhere. And then, like I said, we'll trade Isla Dawn. I know I'm breaking that promise, but y'all understand why I'm doing it. 1, 2, that's 3, bell. Sami Zayn wins again. And hopefully, and I'm imagining that a lot of these rivalries are concluding. I know, yeah, that one's, yeah. I was kind of stuck in a crappy spot there. I don't like that. But at least I know that we have an injury card that I don't know if we'll be using it or not. It's Punk wins. And I'm glad that Lyra won. And got effing hurt. Both of them got hurt. We'll go through these shows. Screw it. So thinking out loud, I need to trade Pete Dunne or have him feud with Kevin Owens. Because I'm trying to think. We need a new tag team to go against Motor City Machine Guns. That is operation number one. Lyra Valkyria, I said I was going to have feud with Asuka, I believe. So we need to find somebody to trade Isla Dawn for. Kind of a 1-for-1. Because all the women's rivalries are about to be reset. I don't know who I could trade Isla Dawn for, which also we're double screwed because she is hurt. Amazing booking. As we are just the best. 1513, 1440, 1489. We're not that far ahead of NXT. So we also have two of these now. We have two of these now, so that's a good thing. And money-wise, we're finally in the 100,000s. Do I want to? Do I want to? Do I want to? I love Tyrese Halliburton, but we'll let him go. We'll just say NBA season starting, which kind of is. Yeah, I don't need it. You know, I don't see many new faces at the show. I think we need to get the word out more about the brand. I didn't want to spend more money on ads. One Extreme Rules match this week. Alright, thing one, I know this is not the smartest thing to do, but I want to go ahead and get it done. We're going to buy the concert hall right now. And we don't even have enough for a freaking charity promo. So this is a men's tag team match. I did notice that. I immediately receive 100,000. Okay. Do I put Punk here? I'm putting Punk here. Screw it. I know I wanted to do Punk and Alistair, but I think we're going to actually have Alistair cut. What? I know I want call out, add. I don't know. I said I wanted Asuka in this match. So our matchup here needs to be Kevin and Jacob in a falls count anywhere because that's the only amount that we could have. What did we get if it was at Extreme Rules? Not that much, but so I just don't know what promo we need to do. Do we do Sammy doing a charity promo? We'll have Halliburton give a final farewell. I know we're not getting a lot of money for this, but shout out to him. I'm alright with this booking. I'm alright with it. CM Punk. This is a tag match, correct? CM Punk. And Randy. Bro, if we don't win this. This is a TLC match. 2 Money in the Bank winners, by the way. This Razor is Acom. Okay. We at least have 100,000. Can we get 200,000? Kevin Owens wins. Oh, 8 weeks is insane. 8 weeks. This is why I don't like doing Falls Count Anywhere matches. How many more do we need to do? It shouldn't be that many. I think we're at least at. We're supposed to do 10. I think we're at least at 5. 8 weeks is insane. This is a 4-way. Okay. Asuka versus Roxanne Perez of Raw versus Bianca Belair of NXT versus JC Jane of what brand in ECW? Da 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 da. Okay, it's not us. So we had the best match. Everything was the same, except for the main event. Got half of a. I didn't like. I saw like 250. How is NXT? I think NXT has the most people on their roster too. So how they're getting the money and right behind us, I don't know. So I did say Isla Dawn. Bro, we got way too many injuries now. Isla Dawn wanted to trade for another woman star. So going back on our roster, Lyra and Asuka, with Asuka turning to a bruiser. We need to complete Natalya and Jordan Grace, which we will probably do that tonight. Alexa and Io, we can wait out. So we need someone for Julia, who is our women's champion. So preferably someone that is a fighter or specialist. With Pete Dunne, we need to find somebody to make... If I could find people that can make good tag teams. So a fighter or specialist that would compete against Julia. No one here. Wendy Chu's not the worst choice. She's also their champion. I'm not against proposing that trade. Indy Hartwell was their top star. JC Jane, not against. I do want Ilya Dragunov, but I don't know what I would do with him. Alright, we're about to propose a crazy trade. I saw somebody here that I wanted, and I've already blanked on who it was. I was thinking about getting Tama Tonga to put him with Jacob Fatu, and then I completely, also forgot Jacob Fatu is out for 2 months. I know it won't be fully 2 months, but still. We'll have to do something about that. I want Ilya Dragunov. None of these people really thrill me with putting them against Julia. NXT, I said I saw some people. Who did I see? Wendy Chu. Who here would make a good rivalry for Motor City? Nobody, really. I'm not putting them against the Wyatt Six. If I just proposed this trade, I want to do this. Pete Dunne, I'm not even that opposed to keeping, but I see that ECW also has a lot of money. Okay. It's definitely due to the money. And then we'll probably just sign some. It's essentially we're trading Isla for money and Pete Dunne for Ilya. We'll need to find something for Ilya to do. Most likely going against Chad Gable for the U.S. title. Okay. I'm not getting as much money as I'd want. That's the issue here. We're right there. I'm going to be generous and take lower than I want. This is the last trade attempt as well. I'm going to be generous, and I don't want to screw it up because it's the last attempt. We'll only take 65,000. Okay, now we can't even do any of that. So now, I don't know what to do. I want to keep Lyra, so I'm not going to do that one. Freaking, you traded in Lexus King for Jacob Fatu. You probably, don't need to be in the business. Oh my God, why does he want a no holds barred match? Holy crap, Kevin, you're at one. You're at one stamina. Superstars below level 10 gain 15 ring XP. Using at least one fighter in a match. All of your specialists get plus 3 promo skills. How many specialists do we got? I know we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 specialists. Where how many level 10s do we have? 1. Only 1. Alright, so this benefits us the most. Wrestling Realm Tag Champions. I will probably book them because nobody else signs people, so anywhere it involves screwing them with the talent scouts don't matter as much. So we only need to do 3 more Falls Count Anywhere matches, which is good. And we're almost clear of all of our rivalries. So we'll start this one up. So we won't be that long before we get a Hall of Fame trophy there. So now, just to think out loud. All right. She's going to be back in 3 weeks. What needs to be done? Thing 1, I want to bring Julia back. I just don't know in what capacity. I'm kind of done with Isla Dawn, even though we don't even get that much money back. So worst case scenario, I could I can't even turn her into a... Alright, we kind of screwed on that front, but we got some time to figure that out. Alright, so we need to do Chad Gable and Kevin Owens at some point. I'm not booking Kevin Owens this week because he's got 1 stamina. Obafemi wants a no-holds-barred match. Alright, so this is just a good stopping point because nothing too dramatic is going on, and we need to figure some things out, and we're almost at the 2-hour mark, and I got some other things to do. So I appreciate y'all for staying for this long. Hopefully you enjoyed it all. I'll see y'all when I see y'all because I am out for now. Goodbye.